So as noted in my previous video, I wanted to do a video on muscular Christianity, which was a idea in Christianity, a movement in Christianity, but not a sect of Christianity that promoted masculinity, muscularity, and certain virtues like courage and things of that nature, self-sufficiency, that were championed and re-infused into Christianity. At the same time, it pointed out how the prudery of Christianity does not come from Christianity, but comes from Greek philosophers. Now, people want to go, like I've said, there's big problems in the United States, and a lot of this is we do not have the same values we had in the 1940s and 50s, or in the 1700s, or in the 1800s, or in the 1990s, okay? Our values are whacked in this country anymore. So essentially, what I want to point out is this. Where do we get these values? Now, people might laugh when I say things about justicialism and Juche. They might go, well, these are crazy ideas that will not fit with the United States. That's true to an extent, but we have something that I would call muscular secularism. Muscular Christianity, the only sect of Christianity I know that embraces muscular Christianity, is the Seventh-day Adventist Church, which embraces it as the health message. The health message of Seventh-day Adventism is muscular Christianity to a large extent. But there's an even better thing called, that I'll substitute in, I'll say it's called muscular secularism. And this was the basis of things like the Boy Scouts of America. People assume that Boy Scouting in America is the same as Boy Scouting in Great Britain, which is where Boy Scouting comes from. It's not, okay? The reason why is, in the United States, our scouting was heavily influenced by this gentleman Seton and a guy named Charles Eastman, who was a Native American, I believe he was a Sioux surgeon, and a book called The Gospel of the Red Man. And it was also, like muscular Christianity, this concept in the United States was greatly influenced by the concept of the noble savage. Now, the noble savage is an archetypal thing that's not really true. The truth of the matter is, indigenous people from all over the world, whether indigenous Americans or indigenous Africans or indigenous what have you, yeah, there are universal values, but not all universal values are the same or are great. But what makes the idea of the noble savage true, it's not true necessarily in reality, but allegorically it's true. And it's a very powerful allegory. In the Boy Scouts, a lot of things, and I wrote some of the values down, and these are the values that should be promoted in the United States. I used to be a Boy Scout, but, it's a couple decades ago, so I had to write these down, and I'll be leaving links to these. The Scout Law. A scout is trustworthy, loyal, helpful, friendly, courteous, kind, obedient, cheerful, thrifty, brave, clean, and reverent. The Scout motto is the same as the United States Coast Guard, which is be prepared, although in the U.S. Coast Guard it's semper paratus because it's in Latin. The Boy Scout slogan is do a good turn daily, which means do a good deed daily. These are the duties you have as a Boy Scout: duty to God and country, duty to other people, and duty to yourself. The duty to yourself is where the muscular Christianity comes in, but it's not muscular Christianity because the God of the Boy Scouts is the God of the Gospel of the Red Man. It's a secular God, and I'll explain that in a second. So duty to self is keep yourself physically strong by eating the right foods, building your strength, and staying mentally strong or mentally awake and morally straight. Mentally awake means to learn all you can, be curious and ask questions. Morally straight means to live with honesty. Use clean speech, meaning don't use profanity. We all use profanity nowadays. Use clean speech and actions. Be a person of strong moral character. Okay, these are values that can be and should be embraced by all Americans. The fact that they are not being embraced is why things are going the way they are. And people might go, well, the Boy Scouts aren't very morally straight with what's going on in there. Yet because of the encroachment of cultural Marxism, which has eroded scouting. Okay, now let's get back into that secular God. Now, people have heard me talk about the universal truths, especially when I talk about the dietary laws and how there's universal truths of physical health, which are exemplified in the various world religions. This is the God expressed in the Gospel of the Red Man. The Sioux call it Wakantanka, which means the Great Spirit or the Great Spirit or Great Creator or something like that, which is the God of all gods, the God that's beyond gods, basically. There's no form. You're not allowed to make an image of him. There's no graven images, though you can make the image of the Thunderbird, which is his symbol. There's what do you call it? The Thunderbird is a very popular symbol in Native American culture in North America, not necessarily after you get down to Mexico is North America, and so Central America, but when you get down into those regions, into what's Mesoamerica, the Thunderbird is not as popular anymore. There's more like the Jaguar and the Eagle and things like that, which are also popular in this part of America, but not as popular. My point is that one of my commenters had stated a while back, can Christians, pagans, and other people work together for the benefit of our people? Yes, and I would go beyond that. I would say that, and this is what makes America unique, because we have a secular God. That is why in the Constitution we say the Creator. We don't say in the Constitution Yahweh or Allah or Wakantanka, for that matter. We don't say that in our Constitution. We say the Creator, okay? We don't specify who's creator or which, because the creator is universal. It can be Brahman, it can be Yahweh, it can be Allah, it can be what have you. It's the same deity, it's the same concept, the same archetype, the same universal thing, okay, regardless of whose religion. So I would say, yes, I would say as long as secularism is respected, you can have people of all faiths working together for the benefit of the republic, okay, as has happened in the past. What the problem is there is no longer this promotion of the universal duty to the country, to one another. That's no longer expected. Now what's expected is if you're white, you don't have a culture, despite, the 300 plus years of WASP culture and Irish culture and German culture and Slavic culture and Italian culture in the United States. That doesn't matter anymore. Okay, it doesn't exist, apparently. So, but other cultures are encouraged, whether it's Mexican culture or Afro-Caribbean culture or black slave culture or what have you, they're encouraged to express their unique cultures at the expense of the universal culture, the universal American culture. So by re-embracing muscular Christianity or muscular secularism, we can begin to eke out the spirit of the American Republic once more. But it's probably not going to happen, because most people are not going to obey those things. Most people are not going to do a good turn daily. Most people are not going to recognize a duty to their country and a duty to one another, or a duty to themselves for that matter. How many people do you know that eat the right foods, stay physically clean and healthy? It's not common anymore for people to behave in a way that is healthy, that does serve the self, that does serve other people, that does serve the republic. These are concepts that are universal to fascism, to other aspects, third positionism in general, whether it's fascism, justicialism, national socialism, whether it's communism, Stalinism, Juche. These are universal concepts that can be embraced to fit the unique culture that's embracing them. But the problem is, in the United States, we've gotten so far away from these things. And that's all for this video.